main event of the evening.
Now he's wrestling again?
No. Although, that would be pretty good, wouldn't it?
No, seriously.
Extreme Xmas 2006, the second annual. Welcome to it. This is the main event, a match that has been spoken of for many, many months now, and we can't believe that it's finally reality. It is finally here, the main event. The storm of the century, Christian Cage, Captain Charisma, takes on Lance Storm.
Absolutely. Both these guys are future Hall of Famers. There's, the Canadian, dare I say, legend already.
Listen to the reaction from the crowd here in Mississauga. Lance Storm handpicked this venue. He handpicked this crowd and handpicked BSC to participate in what could be his final professional wrestling match.
Well, what a career he's had. I mean, if it is his final, listen to this pedigree, Dave. ECW World Tag Team Championship on 3 different occasions. He's WWE Intercontinental Champion, a Tag Team Champion 4 times. WCW Cruiserweight Champion, Hardcore Championship, U.S. Heavyweight Championship. I mean, the only thing that he doesn't have is really a personality.
Are you kidding me? I don't know if you'd start insulting Lance Storm, one of the great Canadians of all time, of course, in this business. And you know what? Future Hall of Famer, I would think, especially in Canada, and a great athlete all around. I mean, the championships speak for themselves, but he is a student of this game, has always been and continues to be, and continues to teach the students of today with the Storm Wrestling Academy in Alberta. And of course, yesterday had a great event with the students of Squared Circle Training, passing on the knowledge that he has onto those students, the future stars. And look at this now, one of the biggest stars of today.
Yeah, Lance Storm with charisma, Captain Charisma himself, Christian Cage.
He's made a huge name for himself as well. Captain Charisma, Christian Cage, making his way to the ring.
And here we talk about, again, pedigrees. I don't know that you can hold a candle to Christian Cage. WWE Intercontinental Champion 3 times, European Champion, Hardcore Champion, Light Heavyweight Champion, and of course the Tag Team Championship, a record number times 9 with the single partner in Edge. He had 7 times, once with his opponent tonight, Lance Storm.
Look at this now. The Charisma Cam, if you will, Captain Charisma, taking a look at the peeps.
And again, look at it, electrifying the crowd. And
there's a close-up from Christian Cage. Just got a picture of Lance Storm. Look at this now. Christian Cage controlling the camera.
Dave,
there's him and his peeps.
Lest we forget, I can't overlook NWA Heavyweight Champion. He's also worn around that waist. Christian Cage has done it all.
He absolutely has, and look at him now, a budding movie star as well. Christian Cage eating it up from the crowd here. They always love to see their hometown hero. The peeps are out in full force tonight to see their hero, Christian Cage.
Oh, the crowd is deafening. You got 1,000 fans plus in this building, and they're going nuts for Cage.
The atmosphere in here is insane, Bob. The goosebumps on my arm. Look at this. This is just, what a sight to see.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is time to introduce the participants of the main event.
I think you should explain the...
Introducing first to my left, from Calgary, Alberta, Canada, weighing in at 225 pounds, this is Lance Storm! And his opponent, from Orangeville, Ontario, Canada, weighing in at 232 pounds, weighing in at 224 pounds, ladies and gentlemen, Christian Cage!
You know what we're going to do at this point, Bob? We're going to sit back and just enjoy this. We're going to bask in this. This is going to be a lot of fun. Let's just say that. Christian Cage and Lance Storm as a wrestling fan, we just sit back and take it all in.
Absolutely. I've never been as excited to call a match. And hey, look at this.
All right, taking some time to fold up the gear.
Don't you recognize this?
No.
Yeah, George Hackers might remember that. It's the a double underhook super power crease with a twist. That's
I think he
old
just
school,
folded.
baby.
What? I think he just folded his pants.
No appreciation for the sport, Dave. The history.
Folding his clothes. Listen to the crowd in silence, just watching as their hero folds his jacket.
Well, you know, Christian Cage has always been called the man of 1,000 folds.
Listen to this crowd.
And he's going to oblige the crowd. Again, that's the personality coming through in Cage. Look at this. What charisma, what technique. The guy's a consummate pro.
And the fecal chant of the evening goes to the folding of a jacket. Ah, Merry Christmas to one and all.
And the crowd just loving this night, Dave. Wow.
Managed to zip up the jacket with the help of referee Dave Linton. And here comes the fold.
What technique? That's just so impressive. Can you imagine what it was going to be like when they actually wrestle?
Is it true that he is an Olympic fold medalist?
Dave, that's cheesy.
Well, I tried. I'm sorry. Christian Cage and Lance Storm. Look at Lance just waiting patiently. I tell you, this is going to be a lot of fun. I'm very excited about this match. The way to fold chant. Right in the face of the ring announcer. Look at that.
Anything can cover up that mug.
Referee Dave Litton doing the official check. I don't think there's going to be any foreign objects used in this match.
Well, I don't know. These guys got a...
Oh, the bell is officially rung. This match is underway.
I mean, these guys got a lot of respect for each other.
Friends. They are friends. And, you know, as Christian Cage told us earlier today, there's not a lot of friends you make in the business, but you know, have a lot of acquaintances. But there are certain people that you can consider friends, and Lance Storm and Christian Cage consider themselves friends.
I think I'm going to be sick. Come on, these guys are athletes. These guys both want to prove that they're the best. They want to prove that they're superior athletes. And this is going to be a good athletic contest. The friend stuff, you can leave it all in the back.
Well, there is a competitive spirit, of course, in both of these individuals. Still in great shape, Lance Storm, not actively wrestling on a regular basis, still doing things here and there. We've seen him in Ring of Honor. Wait a second.
Greco-Roman cabbage patch?
Oh, no, we're not going to see a dance, are we? Lance does not want to do it.
Lance is...
With Christian taunting him.
Lance, of course he's not. Lance is, he's serious. He doesn't have, he can't...
Do the dance chant. Are we going to see it? Lance can't believe it.
Not in a million years, Dave. You're not going to see Lance Storm dance. He's a wrestler.
Look at the smile on his face. The crowd on their feet. Come on, Lance.
I don't know what that was.
There he is.
He did it.
You didn't think it was going to happen. Look at that.
I didn't think he had it in him.
Wow. This is magic.
I never thought I'd see this in my life, Dave.
Two men about to lock up. Well, 5-second pose. We're going old school on this one.
Going back in the vaults, and the crowd, they're gonna do it.
Listen to this crowd. Are you kidding me? Oh, this is brilliant. This is absolutely brilliant.
I've never seen anything like this, and This is unbelievable. This is BSE at its best, man. This is Cage and Storm.
Just having a good time. That's what it's all about. You know, I feel like I'm not doing it justice just sitting here watching this. You feel like a total fan again, don't you, Bob? And wait a second. Oh, come on now. An ode to the king. Oh. Thought we were going to see a peeperoonie.
Christian teasing it, but...
He's going to do it. He's going to do it. No. Come on, Christian Cage. Give us the peeperoonie.
Booker T.
Are we going to see it, Bob? Are we going to see it? Where's the Bobberoonie?
I don't think I could follow this. This is insane. This is unbelievable.
This crowd's going wild. And there he is.
What do you say to that?
You know, read off the resume now when you watch this.
Lance's turn.
A Stormaroonie? Are we going to see a Lanceroonie?
Dave, I bet you $1 million you're not going to see a Stormaroonie. And the guy's... Oh,
no way.
No.
That was, you know what? That was not half bad.
Unbelievable.
Wow.
I think the first Stormaroonie ever. We got history here in Club 107, 108.
Oh my goodness. Listen to this crowd. Just completely eating this up. What an honor to be part of this. This is history in the making.
This is awesome. You know, they're absolutely right. What a night, what an event.
Two of the most talented Canadians of all time. Is this it? Are we going to finally see this match begin?
What are we going to do next? Karaoke?
Yeah, really. Listen to this crowd. Are you kidding me? As Storm and Cage lock up. And there's that intensity right off the bat. Storm and Cage break it up.
Well, I don't know if we got any advantage there in the strength department, that's for sure. I mean, these guys are, you just look at them, they're so similar. They're so, you know, they're roughly the same athleticism. They're both active athletes. I don't know, this was quite even to call.
Well, you know what? Earlier in the day when we spoke a little bit to Lance Storm about how he was going to prepare for this match, and he had a light heart about the whole thing. And, you know, he loves wrestling, and this is part of him, and this is part of his blood. And the line he had today when he said, "Oh, what do you think about your opponent tonight, Captain Charisma, Christian Cage? What do you think of him?" And he said, "You can tell that fat, skinny punk, and I'm going to stiff him." So that should tell you how these guys feel about this match. And they, like I said, they are friends, but there is a competitive spirit between these two for sure.
Fireman's carry takeover, and Storm is using that technique. I mean, learned it from in Calgary, Alberta, Canada. How many legends have come out of there, and he's one of them.
And Lance now. Reversed now by Christian. Beautiful arm drag. Well done by Christian Cage now. Has an arm lock of his own.
Yeah, Christian's no slouch in the mat technique either. Unless, you know, we sing his praises as well.
Now, would you consider them to be quite evenly matched, or who do you give the advantage to when it comes to the mat skills? As Storm now with a head scissor.
Well, mat skills, you know, it got to go, I think, with Lance Storm. All-arounder, and you know, there's one thing that you're forgetting, Dave, is Christian Cage is the NWA Heavyweight Championship. That's got to weigh in the mind of Storm. He's fighting, you know, a world champion.
Absolutely.
And that's one thing that, no matter how impressive his career has been, Lance Storm has never won the World Heavyweight Championship. And I think that's got to weigh on his mind a little bit.
Well, I don't know. I think he's sort of left on his own terms in professional wrestling. And, you know, he's doing what he wants to do. He's taking you know, the shows here and there with BSE and you know, occasionally a show with Ring of Honor or perhaps overseas. And he's doing it on his own terms. He's running the Storm Wrestling Academy in Alberta. I think he's happy with what he's doing nowadays. And I don't think he's bitter about it at all. He seems to be really happy and still comments on what he watches in professional wrestling today as you see a side headlock on Christian Cage.
Well, you know, I've been to his website, stormwrestling.com. I'm on there. He does a lot of commentary, a lot of fan Q&A. And, you know, I'm a member of his Bookmarks reading club. Beautiful shoulder block there. But you know, and he keeps mentioning all the time, oh, I never was in it for the titles. But I don't know. I think there's got to be some gnawing at his craw a little bit that he never did win the big one. And the man he's facing, his friend, his former tag team partner, has won that big one.
So do you think that maybe it'll be a little bit of a feather in the final cap of Lance Storm if he can procure a victory here tonight over Christian Cage, his former partner and a former world champion?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, that's certainly got to motivate him. Not only the spirit of athleticism, but if he can beat Christian Cage, I mean, maybe he might be thinking retirement came too early.
Well, a lot of people wonder if it did for Lance Storm, if it did come early. But tonight, we're not talking about retirement. We're talking about a match. The main event of Extreme Xmas, as now Cage and Storm lock up in a test of strength.
A classic wrestling moment here, a test of strength right now. And again, well, maybe, you know, we said there might be even, it looks like Cage might have a bit of a strength advantage.
Oh, look at this now.
Look at that bridge.
And Lance now pushes right back up. Look at the strength in Storm. Look at this now. Leap right up to the top rope. Beautiful move by Storm.
I think he confused Cage for a minute there. Cage, you saw the reaction. He wasn't sure what just happened.
Look at that. Fans on their feet, showing their appreciation. The fans in the pit, the fans and all over the building here at Club 1078 in Mississauga. They are watching history. What a way to top off tonight. The second annual Extreme Christmas here for BSE, and what a great main event. Probably the biggest of any main event we've had here in BSE, would you say, Bob?
Oh, absolutely. We've seen some huge matches in BSE, and I don't think, you know, as great as they've been, I don't know that anyone can rival this one, you know, up to this point. I do want to talk about, Dave, you know, we Christian Cage, you're asking about the feather in his cap. I mean, that's got to weigh on Christian Cage's mind, too. He can't afford to let Lance Storm, this retired guy, come in and waltz all over him and beat him. You know that, you know, TNA Wrestling is watching this match, is looking at the results, and if Cage gets beat, I mean, maybe that sends him back into the bottom of the ladder in terms of getting a title shot. I mean, the pressure's always on this guy.
Oh, absolutely. Cage now with a headlock. An Irish whip off the ropes. Reverse now. Storm goes into the ropes. Goes underneath Cage. And look at that beautiful arm drag. Nice and tight, taking Cage down to the mat. What a treat for the fans of BSE. We always try to give them something special when it comes to a BSE event. Anytime you can check out BSE Live, we encourage you to do so because there's always something special for you and for everyone in attendance. Look at this now. Storm tossed into the buckle. Cage, I believe he had a handful of tights there. He's messing a little bit with Lance Storm.
A little bit of the intimidation factor. Cage, you know, rubbing Lance's face and maybe sending him a little message that, hey, Chumpstain, I am a former NWA heavyweight champion. This is not just your ring. You're a classic and all, but hey, I'm a modern classic.
Big lockup once again in the center of the ring. Collar and elbow tie-up. Storm goes behind. Taking some elbows to the side of the head. Look at this. Vicious chop to the chest. Another one. Cage now. Whoa, and Storm with a return of his own. Listen to those chops. Cage now reverses again. Another chop.
Wow, these guys are not holding anything back.
A monkey flip and a cartwheel. Storm landing on his feet.
A vintage Storm, the athleticism and a big leg bomb. Unbelievable move by Storm. He's still the aerial. He still got it, man.
Storm tried to go for a cover. Cage rolling out to the outside of the ring. On the apron now. Storm looking to bring him in the hard way. Huge vertical suplex. Look at the stall on that. Wow, Lance Storm showing the power, still able to hold up a man as big as Christian Cage and drops him down, letting that blood flow to the head.
Oh, what
There's
strength.
a cover now. 1, 2.
Held him up there for 10, 20 seconds, had the blood rushing to Christian Cage's head, and then dropped him flat in his back, and he's got a beautiful, like, arm ringer right now.
How many fans in this building would love to see Lance Storm on a regular basis once again in the ring?
I mean, clearly from this response, everyone does. But, that said, how many of them are here to see their chance to see Christian Cage live?
Well, absolutely. It's a split crowd, and I think the fans have been able to look at this now. Storm showing the power. A rolling plant, well done. There's another cover now by Storm. 1, 2, and a kick out by Cage. You know what? The fans are here tonight, and I think it's one of those kind of main events that you don't really cheer for one or the other. You just cheer for a good match, and I think that's what the fans are getting here tonight. And an experience like no other, possibly a once-in-a-lifetime experience. It could be the last time you see Lance Storm in a professional wrestling ring.
What a ticket. This was the hottest wrestling ticket of all 2006 for any company in Ontario, probably in Canada, and this is why. I mean, the level of match, the level of caliber of the town that's coming to PSC, and Lance Storm almost got a 3 count right there.
Yeah, just a 2 off of that. Oh, Chinlock looking to wear down Christian Cage. Grind it in there. Lance Storm looks in phenomenal shape still. For a guy who's not active in the ring, look at that. He still looks tip-top shape. Cage making his way back up to his feet. It's been a long event tonight. Some great matches. And now the big main event well underway. Lance Storm tosses Cage into the corner. Storm follows through. Lifted over the top. Landing on the apron. Springboard now. Caught for a big power slam. Oh my goodness.
And Cage just drove his in the mat right in the flat of his back. And Cage getting a chance to recover after taking a little bit of a beating there, and the wind knocked out of his sails a little bit, and now Storm is on shaky territory right now.
Both men getting back up to their feet. Cage got there just a second sooner. Tosses Storm to the ropes. Ducked down with a big boot. Tosses him into the ropes. A huge clothesline to the throat. Oh, another one. Oh, that'll knock the wind out of you for sure. Cage goes into the ropes again. Tosses Storm in. Big spine buster.
Anderson with a beautiful twisting back slam, spine buster, whatever you want to call it. That was nice. And Cage got some momentum now. And Lance Storm, he's just taking a pounding.
Why don't we call it a spine buster? Storm now with a reverse elbow to the chin of Cage. Lance Storm make it. Oh, look at that!
Wow, and there's
sportsmanship out the window.
There's a message there. We talked about it before. Cage got a point to prove. He can't be embarrassed by Lance Storm. Much of a great athlete Storm is. Cage's got a reputation. He's still active today in TNA wrestling. He can't afford to get beat.
I tell you, I think I would rather see it kept in the ring, but Cage showing a mean streak, tossing Storm to the outside. Shoving him, really. He didn't even toss him. He just shoved him unceremoniously. Look at this now, taking the battle of the outside. Cage now with the fist to the midsection. Right hand to the side of the head of Storm, who's in a bad place.
We talked about Storm being a mat technician. That's not going to help a lot because, Cage he's not above dirty taxes on the outside, on the inside. I mean, the guy's pretty crafty, and he's not above using some very, very vicious moves.
Well, the last time we saw Lance Storm on a major scale was at the ECW One Night Stand pay-per-view, when we thought that could be his last match against another former partner of his, and Chris Jericho. But there always seems to be one more in the tank of Lance Storm, and tonight could be it. This could be the end of the road for Lance Storm, and Christian Cage would love, for his own ego, to send Lance Storm out on a loss.
If he can, if he could retire Lance Storm, you don't think that's going to Christian Cage's head? He could be the man to take this guy out of wrestling for good, to end the legacy of Lance Storm. I mean, what would that do? Certainly, again, TNA Wrestling has got to take notice. I mean, he's already a top contender, but it's going to guarantee him a title shot.
Oh, here comes Storm off the ropes now. Ducks underneath, grabs the leg. Oh, looking for that Canadian crab. A single leg crab, and Storm.
Cage had the presence of mind to kick out, and Lance Storm still, suffering the effects of that, being pushed over the top rope right to the floor.
Christian Cage here in front of all his peeps in Mississauga. Several appearances now in BSE. Always loves to come back and perform in front of his hometown crowd. And Lance Storm now with a punch to the midsection, trying to get back up to his feet. Off the ropes now. Knee to the midsection, sends Storm over hard. the cover now. 1, 2, Cage not able to hold him down for the 3.
And you can tell, Dave, and the crowd can tell, the fun and games are over. It was all great, but Cage, this is serious business for him. And the crowd...
A tale of 2 matches almost. Lots of fun at the beginning, but at this point now it seems as like you said, the point is trying to be proven.
Well, you know, if he's trying to be serious for a minute, if you can, to coin a phrase.
Cage now with a vicious kick to the lower back of Storm. Storm struggling to get back up to his feet. Cage jaw-jacking with the crowd a little bit here at BSC. Takes Storm back up in a massive chop to the chest.
Yeah, and you know what? Lance Storm has been out of it for a bit, Dave. He hasn't had a lot of matches. I don't know if his body can absorb
There's a quick 2, almost a 3.
I don't know if his body can absorb the punishment anymore, and Cage is certainly delivering. He's not holding anything back. Lance trying to, you can see him trying to get use the crowd to give him some momentum, to give him some new energy, a second win. But Cage has got that hold locked in tight.
Oh, they both have the crowd on their side, as you can hear the Lance Storm and Christian chants. Look at that, using the tights, pulling him, slingshotting him back into the forearm of Christian. Cage now tosses Storm into the ropes, reversal, into the buckle, hard goes Cage.
Wow, and Storm was, just powered out of that one, whipped Cage right in the buckle's face first.
Both men down, referee Dave Linton in great position. Issues the standing 10 count. Looks like Lance Storm has got a bit of an advantage, making his way to his feet first. Oh, Cage catching up quickly, though.
Yeah, and the crowd, as you said, getting in, cheering on both men. And while Storm able to fire back, block that shot, and fire back a couple shots of his own.
Cage now goes off the ropes. Storm, big reverse elbow. He's a house of fire now with a clothesline.
Here we go.
And his intensity is, look at that beautiful drop kick, the height he gets. 1, 2, is that enough?
Wow, we've seen Lance Storm put away a lot of his opponents with a big flying drop kick right to the face, and he almost got Cage right there.
Whips Storm over the top rope, but landing on the apron. I don't think Cage sought that. The springboard, there it is, the flying clothesline. 1, 2.
Wow, that was close. Cage just barely getting the shoulder up.
Air Storm, not enough to take down Cage. Toss him into the corner now. Flip over top. Oh, and he takes a spear. Shades of Edge.
Yeah, his former tag team partner, I thought he was going to put Storm away with that out of nowhere. A spear Cage just rocketed out of the corner and caught Lance Storm, javelin type thing right in the chest, knocked him over, almost got the 3 count. And now Cage heading to the outside. Maybe he's going to try for a top rope maneuver of his own.
Oh, we've seen Cage in the past execute the frog splash. Could this be what he's going for? Sure is, and he missed. Nobody home on the frog splash. Storm back up to his feet, looking to capitalize. Huge kick. Crescent kick, 1, 2.
Wow, that was so close. Did he get him?
No, he didn't, and that caught Storm by surprise. He thought he had him.
Super kick right to the face. I think he won all his WCW titles with that exact same maneuver. And now
look at this now, the single leg crab, the Canadian crab looking to take him over.
If he turns it over, Christian Cage got no place to go right now, and he's able to block it.
Oh, rake to the eyes. Resorting to the dirty tactics now. Cage back to his feet.
It's like I said before, Cage not above using some dirty tactics if he feels that he's back in the corner. And
Storm tried to roll him over again. Look at this now. The unprettier, this is over. Turn him over, this match is finished. 1, 2, no!
I don't think I've ever seen her kick out of that.
Lance Storm was able to kick out of the unprettier, and I don't think Cage knows what to do at this point. He is shocked. Checking with Dave Linton if that was for sure a 3 count.
Yeah, I don't think, Cage can't believe that someone kicked out of the unprettier. He's put away so many opponents with that move. Storm finding the reserves to get that shoulder up. Wow.
He won the NWA World title with that move. Now Cage frustration setting in, takes a huge slap. Storm now back up to his feet. Drop toe hold into the single leg crab. Center of the ring, nowhere for Cage to go.
And Cage is in trouble. Cage has got to do something to get to the ropes. If Cage doesn't do it, he's going to tell.
But he pulled him right back into the center. This could be over. You see the pain in the face of Cage.
Look at his face, the expression on his face, and Storm just locked that in. Cage
Wrenching back. Cage got to the ropes.
Good position there by Dave Lynn to catch that, because otherwise Cage had no place. I mean, he would have tapped.
Look at this now, turning him over once again. Storm able to reverse.
Over the
Cage
top.
landing on his feet though. Grabs the kick. Cage now with another one. The up-prettier, he set him up. He nailed it, executed it. 1, 2, 3. This one is over. Give it to Christian Cage in an unbelievable match against Lance Storm.
What unbelievable action, Dave. That Cage going for nailed him with the second unprettier to get the 3 count on Lance Storm. Wow, what? I can't recall a match I've seen in many years that's been that great.
These men battled for over 30 minutes in the ring. Unbelievable action. Christian Cage, I'll go out on a limb here, Bob, and I'm going to say he's lucky. He is lucky to have beaten Lance Storm in this match.
Well, I don't know luck, Dave. I mean, the guy's got ability. The guy's got talent. He never lost the NWA Heavyweight Championship. And this is demonstrated why. He beat a Canadian legend in Lance Storm. And, as much as the guy doesn't excite me. What a heck of a match Storm put on. The guy hasn't lost a step.
Cage gets his arm raised in victory. Christian Cage, unbelievable. What a night tonight.